We're joined now by Juliette Touma. She's with the UN Palestine Refugee Agency. Juliette, I want to start by talking to you about the fact that this ongoing aerial bombardment, obviously it's intensified right now, and there are about 2.2 million civilians in the enclave. There is no way out. There's no aid coming in. We understand that the UN agency, there are some schools where a lot of people have fled to in hopes of being safe there. Can you talk to us a little bit about what's going on?
Yes, the UN Palestine Refugee Agency, UNRWA, has been hosting over 170,000 people who have come to about 80 schools that we operate. They came there seeking shelter, fleeing bombardment and airstrikes in search of safety. And yes, you're absolutely right. One of our schools was directly hit a few days ago, the same school that was sheltering some of the displaced families. And luckily, we did not have any casualties. This morning, sadly, our biggest office in the Gaza Strip, our headquarters, in fact, received collateral damage as a result of airstrikes. It happened at the same time as staff members, colleagues of mine were taking shelter in the UN house in Gaza City.
The UN has been there for quite some time, but since Saturday, of course, this appears to be a completely different situation, a heightened situation. When you're looking at the possible assistance that you can provide to the people who have come to you for help, I mean, you're also going to run out of supplies at some point because, again, nothing can get in.
Well, UNRWA is the largest UN agency working in the Gaza Strip, and in fact, one of the oldest in the world. We've been on the ground since the early 1950s, 13,000 staff members who are doctors, nurses, teachers, sanitation workers, drivers, pharmacists, nurses. They've been working to help the people of Gaza for decades on end. But right now, we fear for the worst, including for their own safety, because many have told us that they had to flee their own houses. Many of their houses have been destroyed. Many have lost loved ones, neighbors, relatives, family members. I mean, you name it. And so they are under so much pressure. But at the same time, many of them are out there. They are helping those people who have sought shelter in our schools. I mean, truly, these colleagues are our unsung heroes. And without them, our operation inside the Gaza Strip would totally come to an end.
When you're looking ahead now, I know it's difficult to do because you're worried about your colleagues on the ground and the people that they're helping. But when you look ahead, how do you see this unfolding? We've heard the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres say that, he's deeply distressed by what Israel is calling a complete siege.
Gaza has been under a blockade for about 16 years. And so the situation before the 7th of October has already been pretty dire. So any intensification of this blockade is likely to make an already bad situation far worse. We have a very high poverty rate with 2/3 of people living in poverty, very high unemployment rates. At least 1.2 million people come to the UN for food, come to UNRWA for food assistance. So it's a place that has had deep humanitarian needs for a decade and a half. So the situation is likely to get only worse, especially because of the recent escalation and a further tightening of the blockade. It's going to be a very difficult place to live in. And so the humanitarian needs are going to increase. And with that comes the need to fund organizations like UNRWA, with whom I work, so that we're able to help. But until then, we need for the fighting to stop everywhere. And we also need humanitarian access, which means that we need unconditional, unlimited humanitarian access into Gaza for us to be able to get into Gaza, get our staff out of Gaza, and also to bring in humanitarian supplies to people who need it most.
When you talk about opening up a potential corridor to allow for aid to get into the enclave, can you talk to us a little bit about some of the conversations that are going on between the United Nations and Israel and potentially Egypt to allow for that to happen?
Well, the UN is calling on all parties, first and foremost, to stop this cycle of violence. That's really what is key, because people continue to be killed. They are being killed as we speak. There's been 100 Palestinian children who have been killed in the past few days. I've just received, while I was speaking to you, news about another 2 staff members that we lost at UNRWA. Bringing the total staff members that we've lost to 4 staff members. So the most important thing is for fighting to come to an end everywhere, to spare more loss of lives. And then we need to get in humanitarian supplies through humanitarian access to people who need it most inside the Gaza Strip.
Juliette, thanks for taking the time to speak with us. I know it's very difficult for you having lost some of your colleagues. Juliette Touma is with the UN Palestine Refugee Agency. Thank you.